It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough without Draymond Green and Spadoni. He's in for Joe Shasky. It's just, you could tell they were just all exhausted last night.
It was a lot. You can tell from the podium game, from the actual game, like a lot is weighing on Stephen Curry's shoulder right now to carry this franchise, more so than ever right now. I mean, you're a year removed from a championship. You think in the back of your mind, like, what? Like, we were just having a parade down there, right, over on Market Street. We were just having a good time. Yeah, we lost to the Lakers, and it was like, but you know what? We can blame, what happened before the season, right? Jordan Poole's gone. Maybe everything's fine. Fast forward to December 15th, and the next 10 to 15 games could determine, Bonte, whether or not this core even stays together anymore, and that it could be coming to an end, which seemed unthinkable just a season ago, and now could be their reality, which is a very sobering moment, and I think you heard it in Steve Kerr's voice. You heard it in Steph's. You heard it in Mike Dunleavy Jr., who I don't think is as emotionally connected with this core as Bob Myers. And he basically said as much. Hey, 10 to 15 games, prove it to me that I should believe in you guys. Otherwise, I'm looking towards the future. And right now, 4 games under 500, it's not looking great. I'll just say that.
Where's this cut at, Big John, with Dunleavy about the 10 to 15 games? Is it the opening statement? Opening statement here. Mike Dunleavy spoke yesterday down in L.A. Obviously, he met with Rich Paul, Draymond Green, as he tried to figure out a path, Spadoni, to getting this right. We have no idea when Draymond's coming back. Mark Stein joined us on Warriors pregame last night. He says he wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see him until 2024.
Wow.
Wouldn't shock me either. That's 9 games, Spadoni. That'd be 9 games. And he's missing out on a lot of money.
Yes.
If he reaches 20 games, he's going to miss over $200,000 a game. Right now, he's missing $150,000 a game. I know he's a very rich man, but money's money.
Yes.
That's a lot of coin.
That is, and it's a reputation, too, that's on the line for him, too. That's already been heavily damaged throughout the years, but more so with his own fan base now, which hurts even more if you're Draymond Green, I'm sure. Now your own fans are calling and saying, I'm relieved I don't have to watch him on the floor. I still can't believe a caller came in and said that.
Yeah.
I'm relieved that I didn't have to watch Draymond Green play anymore because of all these antics. It's unbelievable.
It's really sad.
It is.
That's what it is. That's why I was so disappointed. I thought Bully Efezi touched on it very well yesterday on the postgame show. We want to get him help. But boy, it is very disappointing when you come in and say it's the most important season of your career. Most important season of your career. And you've been suspended or hurt or kicked out of half of the team's games. And it's been going on. It started last year. You heard Steve Kerr, he was choked up. The Gobert incident, the Nurkic incident, he even brought up the Jordan Poole incident. Once broke apart the team last year. That team wasn't connected last season, yet they still make the second round, lose the 6 to the Lakers. But that was, I don't know how they did that, considering what went on with that basketball team and how divided that team was due to what happened in training camp, which was caused by Draymond Green.
That punch has had lasting damages on this organization that I don't know if it can ever get fixed. That's the reality. All right. It feels like that.
No, it does. You're honest, Spadoni. Here's Mike Dunleavy yesterday, president of basketball operations. Mike likes to be known as Mike Dunleavy, no Mike Dunleavy Jr. anymore. Mike Dunleavy. How Draymond's suspension could impact the future roster decisions.
The bigger impact will be, how we do the next 15, 20 games, and that'll probably determine, where we go more than this specific incident or this time away for him. The reality of the situation is if you're evaluating Draymond, his ability this year has been great. His availability is not. And so we need him more available because when he plays, he's really good. We're really good. And, that's the main thing. I don't think I need any more evaluation of Draymond as a player. We need a little bit more evaluation on this team and the chemistry and the lineups and all that. But from a basketball standpoint, honestly, pretty pleased with Draymond. We want to help him be on the court more, though.
Want to help him be more on the court.
I like that. The ability has been great. The availability has been not.
That's true.
I like that.
That is true. Is Draymond Green still a long-term partner with the Golden State Warriors? Here's Dunleavy.
Yeah, I think so. We're committed to him. He's been here for a long time. He's hung a ton of banners and means so much to this organization. And like I said before, I think this is about, turning this thing into a positive and getting better. And so I think that happens and, we feel really good because, again, his play has been terrific. It's just been his lack of availability that's not been great, and we want to make that better.
Well, Curry, they felt tired of just talking about it. His team feels exhausted for dealing with it. And they galvanized each other in the second half. But look, man, playing hard and moral victory is just not the Warriors' way. Not under Steve Kerr, not with Stephen Curry. These losses are piling up. They've lost 7 straight on the road.
They're
7 straight on the road, Spadone.
They're falling behind in the standings, too. So they're 11th in the Western Conference right now. You got the Suns ahead of you. You got the Pelicans, the Rockets, the Clippers, all these teams. They're not going away.
No.
Other than the teams behind you who are pretty much done. I'm putting the nail in the coffin on the Jazz, the Grizzlies, Blazers, Spurs. You mentioned the Grizzlies, they get a job back, maybe. But even those teams, when you play them, you can't take them for granted.
Right.
And you'll be playing the back end of a back-to-back in Portland this Sunday, Bonte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sleeping on that game.
No, you can't sleep on anything when you're 10-14 and lost 7 straight on the road. And Dunleavy saying that, hey, we're going to see what happens in the 10, 15 games, and it'll determine a lot. Could we be watching the last 10, 15 games of Klay Thompson in a Warriors uniform? Could we be watching the last 10, 15 games of Andrew Wiggins in a Warriors uniform? Could we be watching the last 10, 15 games of Kevon Looney in a Warriors uniform?
It's pretty wild to think that that's a possibility at this point. But
15 games away.
When you're
10 to 15 games, Spadone.
It's, you know what? It's a business of winning. And if you're not winning, things change. And then they could change very, very quickly. Even for the Golden State Warriors, who this is an uncomfortable situation that fans haven't been in the last decade, basically. Mm-hmm. It's all about been winning, the next step, what's going forward. This is the reality for most of the franchises. Hell, even the greats of the greats go through turmoil. The Lakers, the Celtics, the Heat. These things happen. Now it's up to Dunleavy to make the hard decisions. He can't have any emotion with this. And that was the thing with Bob Myers. You always felt like he was connected with these guys. There was an emotional aspect. As soon as Mike took over, he got rid of Jordan Poole real quick, brought in Chris Paul. He does not care about this. He has
was it Mike's decision? Was it Lakers' decision? We have no idea.
We have no
idea. And I'm not trying to throw shade at Mike.
But Mike is going to get,
because Mike spoke about, because what happened there, and it made Mike look bad a little bit. And I like Mike Dunleavy.
When he said he was committed to him, right?
Well, he said, hey, we're committed to these youngsters. Yeah. Jordan Poole and Kuminga. And 3 days later, Jordan Poole's in D.C. So is Mike Dunleavy afraid to break up the core? Well, 10 to 15 games, bro, we're going to find out a lot. Kuminga, Podziemski, Moody, a lot of guys are playing for their Warriors careers.
I mean, more importantly,
this team may look different in January, Spadone.
I mean, Chris Paul's playing for his Warriors career. I know that.
Well, he does not look good. He does not have any juice right now.
It's pretty.
Scored 12 points, but
he had the buzzer beater yesterday, but he was getting attacked.
Defensively, he was just getting smoked.
He got Mutombo'd by Russell Westbrook yesterday.
Yeah, I mean.
That was. Russ looks energized off the bench. I'll give him
Norman
that.
Powell, how about 21 points off the bench for Norman Powell, 5 rebounds, 9 to 13.
I always like Norman Powell. That guy He's just so underrated because there's so many stars on that team.
Right.
But he can just go in the paint. He can get a bucket when you need it. There's just a bunch of bucket getters on that team, and they were having their way with them.
For anybody who missed the cut with Dunleavy, because people are asking for it, and Dave Johnson says that Draymond broke up the core last October, Bonte. It may be the case.
It might be.
We may be late to the party. But how will Draymond's suspension impact the future roster decisions?
The bigger impact will be, how we do the next 15, 20 games, and that'll probably determine, where we go more than this specific incident or this time away for him. The reality of the situation is if you're evaluating Draymond, his ability this year has been great. His availability is not. And so we need him more available because when he plays, he's really good. We're really good. And, that's the main thing. I don't think I need any more evaluation of Draymond as a player. We need a little bit more evaluation on this team and the chemistry and the lineups and all that. But from a basketball standpoint, honestly, pretty pleased with Draymond. We want to help him be on the court more, though.
So 10 to 15 games. A lot will be determined within the next 10 to 15 games, Spadoni.
And
it should be the case, right?
But you don't want to be and you don't want to be so negative. And I hate that we're sounding so negative right now, but the team's not playing. The fact of the matter is the team's not playing well. You got aging superstars. Stephen Curry's feeling the weight of the franchise on the shoulder. Draymond Greens indefinitely suspended. Andrew Wiggins is a no-show. You're relying on a rookie and Brandon Podziemski out of Santa Clara to be a huge facilitator and scoring aspect. Guy couldn't score yesterday. He's getting attacked, and it's not fair to put it all on a kid like that. Then you're relying on Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, guys who should have been playing a lot last year, did not, and when they did finally play, their minutes were dropped significantly. Mm-hmm. So you're jumbling this mixed bag right now and expecting good results when in reality, the chemistry isn't there.
No, it's not.
And are we expecting the chemistry just to improve 10 to 15 games?
No.
That's the sobering reality of this. I don't know if that's enough time.
It's not. But 10 to 15 games, you could be out of this bad boy, and there could be massive changes.
Yes.
And that's what Mike Dunleavy's telling you guys. These next 10 to 15 games, 11 of the next 13 at the Chase Center. What do the Warriors do record-wise? They've got to make a run here now. Or again, we get to January, mid-January, and this roster will look a lot different. Now, Rudy Gobert.
Oh, God.
Rudy Gobert.
You just said Rudy's name, and I just,
Why'd you say, oh, God?
My flashbacks to the choke, by the way, but just Rudy Gobert, whatever he says, I have the lasting image of Rudy Gobert, like most people, him touching all the microphones, and then the world got shut down. I'm blaming Rudy Gobert.
Well, my lasting image is Draymond's right arm.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I mean,
but prior to that, I just think of him just being a knucklehead.
So Rudy Gobert told Tim McMahon of ESPN, I have empathy for Draymond Green.
Oh, wow.
You see somebody that's not well inside and suffering. You take away the game and all that, and you want somebody to be well and be able to do what we do every night and compete and be happy. So now that's now the third player outside of the Golden State Warriors players and coaches, but like Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic, they all said that Draymond needs help. Were we just blind to it? It felt like he needed help after the Jordan Poole situation.
It does feel like, maybe not for you, but for me, I'll speak for myself here, that because we're so used to it, I kind of poo-pooed this whole notion of, it's not that big of a deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal.
Just like the mental health side of it, most importantly. Like when we're having this many stars come out and say it, his contemporaries in the game, Kevin Durant, who won titles with him, is saying this is very serious, basically. This is his career. Is in jeopardy right now.
No, you're right.
That's sobering if you're a fan, or just if you're just watching Draymond.
You know, Spadoni, I didn't know this, but he's second all time in terms of career ejections.
Wow.
Rasheed Wallace is number one. He's leading them by 10.
Numbers.
He's got 30.
He's Wilt Chamberlain.
Draymond Green just surpassed DeMarcus Cousins.
Wow.
For most career ejections. So he's heading up that list. It's not going to be good.
That's not what you want. That's not what you want.
You add in the fact that they've missed out on some draft picks. James Wiseman.
That's looming very large right now.
It's just a tough scene right now for the Warriors, and they got to figure this thing out. Let's go to Mike in Berkeley. He's got some adjustments to talk about with the Golden State Warriors. Again, Kendra Andrews in 14 minutes. Kendra Andrews, ESPN. What's up, Mike?
Morning, guys. How you doing today?
I can't complain, baby.
Friday. Let's go.
Yeah, Friday. Thank God for Friday. Hey, I was just wondering, Bonta, you've been around ball a long time. You too, Joe. A coach's job is to provide roles for his players. There's only one player on this team that has a defined role. Only one, and that's Steph. Everybody else is kind of looking at each other going, what am I doing here? I get minutes one day. The next game I get, reduced minutes. The whole Moses Moody thing is a complete mystery to me. But if you go back in time, you look at winning teams, they have people coming off the bench that are offensively like supercharged guys, like Vinnie Johnson with the Detroit Pistons.
The microwave,
Freddie Downtown Brown.
Yep.
And recently you've got, Russell Westbrook, even last night, he's taken the role of coming off the bench. And Jamal Crawford. Why can't that be Klay Thompson? I just don't understand why you can cut his minutes a little bit, and his new role is the savior off the bench.
I hear you, and I have no problem with Klay Thompson coming off the bench. They've actually been one of your better players in the last 11 games, though. And you can't put everybody on the bench. You try to put Looney on the bench. You put Wiggins on the bench yesterday. He's been scuffling more than Wiggins has had 3 good games this year.
Yeah.
If we've been hyper-focused on Klay Thompson, and I don't know why we've been hyper-focused on Klay Thompson. The deal is the deal. He signed a deal when he tore the ACL, the $43 million, and we projected that he'd age better. We didn't know the Achilles injury was going to happen, so he got $43 million. It is what it is. He has an expiring contract. Wiggins is starting a new 4-year contract with $100 million that has a player option. Klay's not the problem. I don't know why we continue to make Klay Thompson a scapegoat, but I do agree with Mike that guys need to have defined roles. They do. Especially youngsters. This is your role. This is what I want you to do. Like, for example, Jonathan Kuminga, Spinoni, dunker spot, perimeter defense, pass it first when you first get the ball, and then look for your shot when you get it back. That's a role for him. Moses Moody, I told Willie Efezi off air yesterday, I said, I get the Pajitsky starting and the energy. You need an extra ball handler. But I would have loved to see a starting lineup with Steph, Clay, Moody, Kuminga, and Looney and Saric.
I like that.
Because Moody is balling, man.
He's been the most consistent Warrior.
Right.
It feels like Moses Moody. Outside of Steph, and even Steph's been a good, Moses Moody is so damn consistent and is such a pro's pro. It is baffling that he has been so inconsistent, whether it's not even in the starting lineup, reduced minutes, this and that. And we're going to see it going forward when it comes to the chemistry with these guys. Pairing the Kumingas and the Moodies, the Bajepsis, the rope that they have, because you need them to contribute going forward. Mm-hmm. Steve Kerr knows that now. There's no hiding them on the roster, which is you have to play these guys. And I think for the first time in his NBA career, Steve Kerr is now going up against some very strong adversity. Yeah. I'm not counting the COVID year when you had the built-in excuse if you're missing all your star players, that you were tanking that year. Yep. It is what it is. We're at a boiling point with the Golden State Warriors when it comes to this dynasty, this franchise.
Oh, it is.
We're at potentially the point of no return when it comes to a lot of these guys.
Yeah, well, this may be the last time we see it. It's
incredible.
But it was funny to me watching Klay Thompson, and I don't want to confuse people with facts here. I don't want to confuse you with the facts.
Don't confuse me.
The facts are Klay Thompson shooting 39% from three in the last 11 games. He's scored in double figures in 10 of those 11 games. He's averaging 18.5 points per game in those last 11 games. Now, it's not always going to be pretty because the field goal percentage is only at 41%. He needs to bump that up. That's below average for him. But from three, he's shooting 39%. And if he gets open threes, he's going to knock them down like he did last night. So, Klay's been scapegoated for all the issues when the issues have been Draymond Green's availability and Andrew Wiggins no-showing basically all season long. Let's be honest. And when you think about starting lineups, you want spacing. Everybody says, we need spacing for Steph Curry. Then why would you bench Klay and start Wiggins? When Wiggins is shooting 26% from the three-point line, and nobody's going to defend Andrew Wiggins on the perimeter.
No.
Klay Thompson can go 0 for 10. Guess what? There's going to be a defender in his face.
Yeah. No one respects Andrew Wiggins shooting right now. No one.
Nobody.
Why should they?
Nobody.
I don't even think they respect his defense.
No, they don't. They're going right at him.
They don't respect anything about his game right now. It's unbelievable. And we go to the trade deadline. Who wants that on their team? If I'm, if I'm a contender or I am like a Detroit Pistons, someone, and we'll ask Kendra Andrews in a few minutes here. Right. Why would I want this guy?
Yeah.
And you're stuck with, that's the sobering part of this. If it is the mental head case with him, I don't know what it is with Andrew Wiggins. If it is,
you're preaching, Spinotti.
You might not be able to come back from that either.
Spinotti.
So you got two mental head cases on the team, and Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins. Good luck, Steph. Good luck, man.
Hey, Spinotti, you're preaching, man, because this is not even Minnesota Andrew Wiggins. I don't know who this is.
This is the worst version of Wiggins. This isn't Kansas Andrew Wiggins.
No, this is bad. This is really, really bad.
Was he this bad in elementary school?
No,
That's what I want to know.
Let's try to tat some calls real quick before we get to call of the week. Call of the week coming up here on the Morning Roast. Frank in the city. Frank, what's happening, man? You're on the roast.
Yes, hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Frank.
What's up, Frank?
Mount Spadoni, when you guys speak, people listen. And I just want to make sure that you understand. We love you out there. Remember how it used to be before Draymond Green, Kerry, and all those guys played together. The Warriors used to be a terrible team. Mm-hmm. Today, everybody's piling on Draymond Green, whether it's CNN, ESPN. I mean, who's having his back? The only people having his back is his coach, Stephen Curry, and everybody else. And still, people seem to remember, not long ago, this team were losing. We have to be grateful for everything that Draymond Green has done for the Warriors. And at this time, he made a mistake. We have to be supportive of him. You guys need to show him some love. Because if you don't, remember, everybody else is saying a lot of bad things about this guy. But they used to beat all those teams. You think they're going to say good things about him now? They're happy to see him, losing.
Frank, we want him to get help. He has to help himself, though. And he has to separate himself. Because all we're doing is commenting on what he's done on the court. And what he's done on the court is let his team down. That's what it is.
Frank, that's a strong Italian name. I love the name Frank. Shout out my Uncle Frank. Rest in peace. Tony Soprano once said, those who want respect, give respect. And he hasn't been giving respect on the court to the fan base or anyone involved. So I will, have his back when it comes to the mental health side, all of that.
Yep. And Draymond
he has to want it. He has to want it.
Here's the cold part. Draymond Green was hitting shots. Dude's shooting 43% from
We're
three.
not crushing him as a basketball player.
On the court, he's been great.
And you heard that from Mike.
I'll say good. Draymond Green on the court has been good.
He's been good.
Very good. I've said that all along. We've said that all along. But you can't really talk about the on-court production when on the court you're also connecting with Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah. And you have the Rudy Gobert situation, which he told Ramona Shelburne, boy, I didn't realize I had him choked up like that for that long. He lost it.
Those comments to Ramona Shelburne, by the way, I don't want to use the word disturbing. It was a little shocking.
I didn't even want to bring it up today.
It was.
I didn't even want to bring it up.
We might have to read some of the comments.
I didn't even want to bring it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to be positive on a Friday.